Welcome to the Virginia International Raceway here for the penultimate round of the American Le Mans Series. Now, Level 5 arrive here with a 12-point lead in class. 31 cars take to the grid for this 4-hour race, so there's no time to rest just yet. Jeff, P2 and P3 in qualifying for Level 5. What can you do from that position?
I think we're okay. You know, it's a 4-hour race. I guess everybody who doesn't get the pole always says we have a good race car, but we truly do have good race cars. That's what we've been working on. You know, with the races this long, you just have to be really good on old tires, and with double stinting the tires, we need to make sure we're good on lap, 30, 40 in the run rather than lap 1. So all credit to Conquest. They beat us flat out, fair and square, but I think we're going to have a good race with them.
So we're live on the grid as preparations get underway for the race. Scott and Christoph have to start from the very back here because of having to change tyres after qualifying. When they've got to make their way all the way up to the front, they will certainly be pushing as hard as they can. Unfortunately, you're not starting from the grid position that you got in qualifying, so you've got quite a lot of work to do today. But what can you do from this position?
You know, this is part of racing, and we started in the back at Sebring and won the race. It's a long race. Like I said, just part of racing. You know, we had to replace our tires after qualifying, and because of that, we got to start in the back of the field, and that's what we'll do.
You know you've got a good race car there going into this one.
Yeah, we're solid with the race car, and it just could take us a few laps to get through some of this traffic, but overall, we'll be okay.
So, Christoph, we're just obviously here on the grid getting ready for the race. Scott's going to be starting in the car. A bit of work to do today.
Yes, it's not the first time, at least. We are starting last this year for some reason. Yesterday I was trying to push a little bit too much in qualifying to get back the pole position, but suddenly I lost the grip on the rear, and I could escape a spin. So, and this track, there is several places where you can overtake easily, especially GT. It's a long race, it's 4 hours, so clearly nothing is done. And until we have a good pace, clearly we race for winning.
So David, right at the start there, Ricardo got caught up in an incident before we got to the first corner. Can you tell us if there's any damage and how things are?
Well, one of our guys was at the pit wall, and it looks like reasonably minimal damage. So we're going to run the car. Ricardo's reporting back he doesn't feel anything wrong. He just made a pass on a PC car, so those cars are not that far apart, so it must not be too bad.
Ken, we're an hour and 10 minutes into this race, and there seems to be an awful lot going on, and there's a safety car out at the moment. Can you just tell us what's happening on track?
Yeah, we had a LMP2 car go off, pretty big impact, so now we're right at the window where we can pit Scott, hopefully, get Christoph in, but it's going to be really close on time, like within minutes. So we're just trying to figure that out now.
Scott, that was a fantastic drive. You must have enjoyed coming through the field like that.
Oh man, I'm glad I did my job. Coming from the back of the field and bringing it to P2. Really proud of the car and the team, and so yeah, it's so far, I mean, it's working out pretty well for us.
Yeah, there's been some pretty slick pit stops by the guys here today.
Yeah, we've been working on that all season, and it's really starting to pay dividends now. I hope we can just keep it up.
Scott, how much of a challenge is it sort of managing the traffic, especially when you've got the GT cars and you've got to get through them without, any incident?
Well, that's the big factor, because you've got to complete 70% of the race to score any points. So you've got to be cognizant of that during the race, and you've got to get through there, and then you can race after that.
Rick, we just saw that Christoph got a penalty there. What happened, and why did he get the penalty?
IMSA deemed he was passing a car, and they contacted, and IMSA deemed that avoidable contact.
Ricardo, obviously that was quite a long stint, but if I could just take you back to the start of the race, what happened? It looked like you had nowhere to go.
Yeah, once again, like last race, it's one of those deals where there's no room, tires are still cold, there's not much you can do, and that's it. The good thing is that we were able to continue. We didn't have to change the front splitter of the car.
Jeff, Ricardo's just handed the car over to Luis, but I understand there's a bit of a dispute over a penalty that's just been given. Can you explain?
No, I can't really explain. Ricardo jumped the curb to try to avoid a GTC car, and we never made any contact, and we got a penalty for that. I'm not exactly sure why that is. It's a bit of a disappointment, but it's what the rules officials dictate, so we had to do our stop and go penalty. We're still in third place. all on the lead lap. Conquest had a little problem, so we're not out of it by any means.
So we've got just under an hour to go in the race here, and David, it's a bit like cat and mouse today because Christoph's been called in for another stop and hold penalty, but says our opposition.
Yeah, that's our second stop and go plus 60 for avoidable contact. This one, we just got a lucky break. Hopefully the net will be 0 because Conquest did get the same thing. They've been very clear in the drivers' meetings the past 2 races. They're going to be watching for avoidable contact very closely and handing out these stiff penalties. So I didn't see anything on the video for our last one, so I can't really comment on what the situation was. But it is what it is, so it's going to get dicey at the end here.
Christoph, many congratulations. That was a real battle royal today.
Yeah, I'm happy because even if, of course, some penalty is never good when it came, because at the first one I was thinking, well, it will be impossible to win today. And of course, when the second penalty came, I said, okay, now it's definitely over, and I was totally desperate. But the team, just a few seconds after, told me, okay, Pluman, get the same penalty than you, because there is no other game. When you want to be fast on that track, you have to take some risk, and sometimes you are so close to the car, then it's really hard to judge if you will hit or not. So at the end, we win. This is the only thing I want to remember. And I mean, Scott did a wonderful start. Was unbelievable, starting last, come back first. And it was very hard for me to stay first after all those penalties. But at the end, it just like the sunshine, come back, wonderful day.
Scott, this man always delivers, doesn't he?
He does deliver. And yeah, it's, the team and Christoph, we had a good strategy put in place. But, yeah, when the chips are down, this is the guy you won the car with you.
Jeff, without doubt, that was hard work today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it was like everybody was trying to give that race away. So when it was there for the taking, we took it. And the 055 car won, which helps pad our point lead a little bit. The way we look at it, at a quick calculation, it looks like all we have to do is just finish the 70% required at Petit. And even if we finish in last place and Conquest wins, we'll still be the champions. So, if that calculation is right, I think we're in good shape. So all in all, a really good day for the team.